All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, quick little video here. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch of the 49ers are having their exit meeting right now, right? Where they recap 2022. They talk about what's ahead in 2023. And Shanahan just said that he doesn't see a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo is the 49ers quarterback next season, essentially saying they're moving on. Big news, right? And look, everybody was kind of expecting, Jimmy G to wind up on a new team next year, but to hear the words directly from Shanahan, the head coach of the football team, not like some sort of like, oh, there's whispers around the league or per sources, that kind of deal. It's not coming from Rappaport. It's not coming from Adam Schefter. It's coming directly from Shanahan. If he doesn't see a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo is playing quarterback for the team next year, chances of it happening are pretty much, I don't want to say zero because I didn't think he was going to be there last year, but it's extremely slim. And right off the bat, I'm not 100% sure what the 49ers plan is, at the quarterback position moving forward. I thought it was going to be Tom Brady, but obviously, he retired this morning, so he's out of the question. Brock Purdy, I'm a big fan of Brock, just totally impressed with what he was able to do. I mean, the whole 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant thing aside, to be able to walk into that veteran locker room, command the respect out of all the players, all the coaches, pick up that complex system, and come in when you quote unquote, aren't ready to play and look like that, totally impressive. Granted, the 49ers have a stacked roster, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, we could go down the list of all the great players that the Niners have, but you know what? When I look at Brock Purdy, that was extremely impressive what he did in the back half of 2022. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So, Brock Purdy, obviously an option, but he's dealing with the UCL. So it's like, obviously it's, I believe it was either super late last night or really early this morning because I was up mad early. The recovery window is like 6 to 9 months, and that is just, it's a tough blow for sure. But outside of Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, like I don't even know what's going on with Trey Lance. I know he's obviously hurt as well, but do the Niners even still view him as a part of the future? I'm not even sure at this point. If you're a Niner fan, please let me know down below in the comment section because I sincerely have zero idea what the plan is for Trey Lance, how the organization views Lance at this point. I knew he was a raw quarterback coming out, but I just wasn't really expecting there to be like zero. It just seems like there's zero backing and like Trey Lance just does not have a future with San Fran, but I could be totally wrong. We look at Jimmy Garoppolo, what the future holds for him. I mean, the Raiders stand out. Josh McDaniels, his former coach. You look at that team. Obviously, they're moving on from Derek Carr. Once the Raiders do move on from Carr, the Raiders will open up a ton of cap space. I believe they'll be sitting right around the 6th or the 5th team in the NFL with the most cap space. So that's a decent, I mean, that's where you want to be. And you're coming into a team with Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, assuming he resigns, and Devontae Adams. Of course, they have to, get some things figured out at corner and whatnot. But man, I look at the Raiders as a likely destination for Jimmy. I feel like if the Vegas odds were to open up, after this Kyle Shanahan statement, I would assume that the Raiders would probably be the favorite. But I don't want to rule out the Jets here. I really don't. Now that Brady has retired, the Bucs now need a quarterback. If I'm Derek Carr, and really too if I'm the Raiders, because Carr is not a bad quarterback by no means, and the Raiders know that, right? They just know he's not a fit for what they want to do offensively. It makes sense from their standpoint to maybe trade Carr if the Buccaneers are interested down at Tampa, a warm weather city. There's been so much buzz about Derek Carr playing in a cold weather city, but you're taking a really good quarterback if you're the Raiders and Derek Carr. You're clearing all this money and you're sending him to the other conference where there's not that many great quarterbacks compared to the AFC. So, if you're Tampa, it might make a lot of sense there. Another thing that we have to keep in mind is the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, right? He's not guaranteed to be traded. There's a chance he could stick with the Packers. He could retire. I don't think he's going to retire because of the enormous amount of cash that's still left on his deal, that's still owed to him. And also, he can still play at a high level. But again, you never know. I was not expecting Brady to call it quits this morning, but that's exactly what happened. So the bottom line is this. I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo and I'm thinking about him, wearing green and white next season. Would I like it? The answer is yes. Jimmy G, I know he's not a top 5 guy. I know he's not a top 10 quarterback. I know he might not be as good, as talented. And I know he might not have the career as an Aaron Rodgers, maybe a Derek Carr. But you know what? Jimmy G has been a guy throughout the course of his career that has united the locker room. He's a guy that players and coaches absolutely love. Everybody rallies behind Jimmy. Again, physically, I know he might not be the most like mobile guy in the world. He's not going to, set any rushing records like a Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but what can he do? He's a great teammate. He can lead and operate a extremely complex system. Think about it. Nathaniel Hackett's going to be bringing over a West Coast scheme to the New York Jets. That's pretty much the exact same thing that the team was running last year. And that's what Jimmy G has been running for the last several seasons in San Francisco. So he's going to come in and have an instant transition to what the Jets want to do offensively. There's not going to be this massive personnel undertaking to switch, to get guys off the roster, to bring in guys that fit the system. Everybody there is in place. All these guys already fit the West Coast scheme. I think short passing, a lot of pre-snap motion. Everything that goes into what the San Francisco 49ers do. Getting playmakers the football early within the play, rhythmic-based passing. Like everything is, I don't want to say it's the exact same thing because it's not. But, when you think of concepts and overall philosophy, Jimmy G's going to have no problem at all picking up on what the Jets want to do. Even if you want to rewind before San Francisco, he was playing in a complex system in New England. Okay, so this guy's smart, great teammate, coaches love him, players love him, can operate the offense. I still think Jimmy G has good ball left. And another huge pro about Garoppolo, he's not going to be as expensive as a Rodgers or a Carr. Throw on top of that, you don't have to trade for him. He's scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent. 49er, Kyle Shanahan, right? The whole point of this video, they're not bringing him back. They are not bringing him back. So, what are you thinking? A 2-year deal? 3-year deal? I would say right now a fair market value for Jimmy G, 2 years, 50 mil. I think that's good enough. 2 years, 55 mil if you want to be safe. I think that gets the job done. You're paying a guy to be your starting quarterback of the team. This could, when we look at the New York Jets, this could be a playoff team. You don't want to lowball a guy like that. And again, assuming Carr gets moved, assuming Rodgers stays put, what other options really do the Jets have? Of course, maybe a Baker Mayfield, somebody like that. Geno Smith, I do believe, is going to re-sign in Seattle. Maybe even a Ryan Tannehill. But I think Garoppolo, again, assuming those two guys are gone, would give the Jets the best chance to win games, and he would come in and do a lot of really good things. And then just one more thing that I'm kind of thinking about here. The Jets haven't given up on Zach Wilson. It seems like Joe Doug, and I don't know if it's them just covering their bases, them just trying to, look good in front of the media, Joe Douglas specifically. But if the plan is to keep Zach Wilson around this offseason and to further develop him throughout the years, Jimmy Garoppolo is a fantastic mentor, somebody who, again, he's not going to hold information back. He's not going to try to sabotage Zach Wilson by any means. He's just going to be a normal dude, and everybody's just real. Everybody knows the situation. Hey, he's a short-term option at the quarterback position. And hey, if he plays really well in his 30s here for the Jets, maybe he signs an extension with the Jets after a couple years. But at this point, I'm just kind of getting ahead of myself. But I personally think that would, a deal like that would be all it takes. 2 years, 50, 2 years, 55 mil. I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. The only negative is the whole injury health thing, because it's almost like a guarantee. Garoppolo gets hurt, he deals with something goes wrong every single year, and he's not really the most dependable guy when we look at him from just an availability standpoint. A durability standpoint, he doesn't check that box, right? Derek Carr doesn't miss time. Derek Carr's missed, 3 games due to injury in his entire career. Jimmy G, I feel like he's missing more than 3 games every single season. So, if you're the Jets and you want to bring Garoppolo in, you're probably going to have to maybe bring in a Mike White to be the guaranteed backup. Like, hey, you know what? You got to be ready at all times because we don't know when Jimmy, we don't know if he's going to be going down. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I would love Jimmy, and as always, go Jets.